Imagine a place where outcasts built a democracy, where rebels wrote their own laws, and where freedom was worth more than gold. No, this isn't a fantasy novel. This was the real-life Republic of Pirates in Nassau from 1716 to 1718. For a fleeting moment, this Caribbean port became the epicenter of the golden age of piracy, a haven for those who refused to bow to empires. Forget what you've seen in the movies. The true story is far more incredible. So, how did this utopia of rebellion even begin after the War of the Spanish Succession ended? Thousands of sailors privateers who had legally plundered enemy ships for the crown were suddenly left jobless. They were skilled, they were desperate, and they were angry. Instead of starving on the docks of London or Bristol, many sailed to the Bahamas. Nassau, with its shallow waters perfect for pirate ships and its strategic location along major trade routes, became their new home. Here, under the black flag, they forged a society unlike any other. At the heart of the Republic of Pirates was a radical idea for the time: democracy. On a pirate ship, the captain didn't rule with an iron fist. He was elected. If he proved to be a coward or a tyrant, the crew could vote him out. This was revolutionary in an era of absolute monarchs and brutal naval discipline. The real power lay with the quartermaster, also elected, who managed supplies and ensured every man got his fair share. This wasn't just chaos. It was an organized, democratic community built by people who had been crushed by the systems they left behind. And they had their own laws, famously known as the Pirate Code. Before each voyage, the crew would agree on a set of articles. These codes were surprisingly progressive. They laid out rules for discipline, but more importantly, they guaranteed a fair distribution of all captured loot. Every crew member, from the captain to the cabin boy, received a predetermined share. The code also acted as an early form of workers' compensation. A pirate who lost an eye or a limb in battle would receive a larger share of the treasure as compensation. In a world with no safety nets for the working class, this was groundbreaking. Think pirates were just a boys' club. Think again. The Republic of Pirates was a place where societal norms were thrown overboard, and this extended to gender roles. While rare women weren't just passengers, they were formidable pirates in their own right. The most famous examples are Anne Bonny and Mary Read. They defied every convention of the 18th century, fighting alongside men, earning their respect, and becoming legends. Their presence proves that the pirate life was about skill and courage, not where you came from or who you were. To the British Empire, Nassau was a nightmare nest of vipers and a direct threat to their colonial wealth and authority. The pirates weren't just robbing ships. They were disrupting the entire Atlantic trade system. They offered an alternative to the harsh life in the Royal Navy, and their democratic ideals were dangerously appealing to oppressed sailors everywhere. The Crown couldn't let this rebellion stand. They saw it as a utopia of rebellion that had to be crushed. So, how did it all end? not with a massive, bloody battle, as you might expect. In 1718, the British sent Captain Woodes Rogers, a former privateer himself, to Nassau with a deal, a king's pardon. Any pirate who surrendered and renounced their life of crime would be forgiven. For many, tired of the constant danger, it was an offer too good to refuse. Rogers arrived not with cannons blazing, but with a promise of peace and order. While some diehards like Charles Vane and Calico Jack Rackham refused and fled, the majority accepted the pardon. Just like that, the great Republic of Pirates dissolved, and Nassau was brought back under British control. Though it lasted only a few short years, the legacy of the Republic of Pirates endures. It was a bold experiment in freedom, democracy, and equality created by the outcasts of society. It challenges our simple caricatures of pirates as one-dimensional villains and reveals a much more complex and fascinating story. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey back in time. If you enjoyed this dive into history, please hit that like button, subscribe for more stories, and let me know in the comments what piece of hidden history you'd like to explore next. See you in the next video.